Hello once again, another episode of the Ultimate Contest for you, and it is a little bit of a weird one again. We have done this before, but I am watching a recording from someone else, so this is not a live commentary, it's a post commentary. Haven't seen the match yet, I do know the result. I've seen it on the server. Let me just grab the stats for you real quick. Hopefully I can get it done before the match commences. We are looking at Mr. Podatte, the one recording, versus V15HY. I'll get the stats after this one. Hunter v Hunter, neither player starting with buffs. Podatte actually going for an AB out. Interesting, I didn't see if there was... Yeah, V15HY used the actuator, okay. And now goes back into range, both put their buffs. Podatte with the first stun. Immediately gets counter stunned. So far Podatte got slightly better hits though. V15HY at 23%, V15HY is dead I think. Ooh, a miss at a very bad time. V15HY gets the RD off. And Podatte just outright dies. Yeah, that's unlucky. Podatte with a bit better RNG there at the start, but misses a blaster when he really couldn't afford to, and that costs you the match in a Hunter v Hunter, so yeah. Kind of unfortunate, but not much that one can do about it. I thought he was gonna have that, but yeah. One miss is enough in that situation, and Podatte very quickly selecting Draconis. It looks like he's just instantly going to get his Hunter ready, and yeah, no hesitation there, just putting his faith in the most popular ship of the contest. So the stats of this match are that V15HY was at rank 3 before this match was played, and Podatte obviously is our king. So we're gonna see. V15HY held the king spot for quite a while at the beginning of the contest. He grabbed it right in the first week and held it for about 2.5 weeks, if I'm not mistaken. At the beginning of the contest, yeah, he has reigned for 336 hours, which translates into almost exactly 14 days. It's 14 days and 44 minutes, technically his reign time. Podatte has overtaken him since then, already at 450 hours, or about 450 divided by 24, about 19 days. So V15HY trying to get that back. Obviously some other people also have been climbing up the ladder, so Podatte should be facing a lot more threat in the coming weeks. And it looks like we have yet another Hunter v Hunter. So let's see. Podatte leading the match, losing the first round, so V15HY leading the match 1-0. Let's see who the RNG favors this time. Hunter v Hunter is a lot of RNG. I do like what V15HY did here. Bod is gonna try to go for a reset, and he is gonna get it. V15HY, yeah, V15HY needed to do a stun there, so full reset from Podatte. Nothing spectacular here. A beer kinda throwing us off with by showing up there, but yeah, just plain and simple full reset. There should be no way either of these players gets into the opponent's range. Podatte can get in range now if he wants, but V15HY can stun him and walk out or do an AB after. I don't think Pod is even gonna go for it. Probably not worth. He's gonna try to wait for his RD and his stun to come back, and then he's gonna go in, try to catch V15HY before V15HY gets the buffs, but the distance is enough. Yeah, V15HY sees it coming, just puts the AB off cooldown. I'm gonna stall out until he gets his buffs back, so yeah, a well played opening by V15HY in my opinion. I'm definitely a big fan of the buff first, on the belief that once you get in range the only way to get out of range is to get a full reset. Hunter v Hunter, obviously you have the same control, which means once you're in range, you can get out of range with difficulty in certain situations, but the opponent can then stay out of range because you don't have more control than the opponent. So Podatte afterburns in, goes for a first poke, stun, counter stun. Pod already put his actuator, and looks like now Fishy is gonna be the one running away. Walks back in, takes an extra SB, a bit unfortunate, does it back. Podatte already has his buffs active, Fishy doesn't yet, so he's gonna lose a little bit of DPS here. And Fishy with the first RD. So Fishy's RD stops one shot earlier. It depends mostly on the RNG at this point. And it looks like Pod is getting the better hits so far. Yeah, and Fishy's RD stops, so bit unfortunate. The RD difference in timing wasn't worth 40% there. There's a bit of... I mean, any mirror matchup has a lot of RNG involved, but yeah. Fishy probably shouldn't have went back in without putting the buffs first, because putting the buffs costs you, you know, 2 blaster hits. Well, 1.5 blaster hit, give or take. So 1-1 now, and Fishy goes back to serious with his pick. Let's see if we get yet another Hunter v Hunter, or if we'll actually see a non-mirrored matchup, which I would massively prefer. Mirror matchups just involve a little bit too much RNG, I think, so not personally a big fan of it. And Pod now looking through the ships, making sure he's not looking at the drones. Might be a little bit scared of the Punari. Yeah, definitely predicting a Punari pick, I think. He's thinking about the Emp. And he is standing by to type the ready. Is he gonna throw it out? Yeah. So Emperor has been decided. And putting his drones up. Yeah. So he's hoping that Fishy is in a Punari, I believe, and he is correct. So Podatte wins the rock paper scissors, does a correct prediction, and we can basically move on to the next match. This is Fishy requesting a change. We'll see if Podatte gives it to him. This is an incredibly one-sided matchup, but it is up to Podatte. There are currently no rules in place yet. To prevent this, we are working to get some rules in place to make the ship roulette a little bit less deciding. And Podatte looks like he is telling his opponent to stick to the matchup, so not giving a repick, as far as I understand it, at least. We'll see how Fishy interprets it. So yeah, we're gonna see the Emperor versus Punari. Yeah, most likely not gonna be that much to talk about during this one. I think we can just write down the 2-1 and move on. But you know, there is technically potential. Punari isn't a good comeback ship at all, though. You don't have burst potential. You just has the ABN to break the range exploit. That is the correct play. Starting with the Protector, also the correct play. Yeah, walks out of range, but Podatte just gonna walk in. Fishy no Scrambler. Yeah, starts with the RD. Fair enough. And throws out his actual stun now. Bot gonna prod that off. Does he stay in blaster range? He does not. He does have the faster ship though, so he should be back in blaster range in a few seconds here. There it is. And now Vishy's only defense is the Scrambler. We're gonna see how good that is going to be for him. Does get an AB away, but most likely on the next AB Podatte catches. I don't think there will be a stun yet, because the protector should still be there, and it's gonna be a thermo and a GG. Let's see how correct my prediction is. SB, thermo, blaster, GG. So 2-1 for Podatte. Pretty much a pure ship victory. There's really not much to discuss or analyze or do fun commentary about. These are the matches that we don't really like to see. But we'll see. Vishy now has the pick, down 2-1. And it should be mentioned that because this is a King series, they should be playing to a best of 9. I am very hopeful that both players remembered that fact. But we're gonna see. There was no referee live on site. Well, Podatte himself is a referee, so I would assume that this is gonna be a best of 9. And Vishy goes for Soul. Podatte verifying that it's level 60 Soul. Level 55 Soul, not a popular pick. So yeah, Vishy indeed confirming the level 60 Soul, and Podatte now doing his classic thing where he's moving all of his ships to level 60 to make sure his opponent has no chance to see the what ship he's going for. And it looks like, I'm gonna take a quick look at his enemy ships. Chromium, Hornfels, Hunter, VQ. You're probably expecting a Hunter pick here, I imagine. That's the most clear one. It might be maybe a Chrome, but I feel like it's too risky. And it looks like Podatte, I think, is looking at his opponent and thinking it's gonna be a Hunter pick and switching out his repair droid on the Punari. So it looks like he's gonna play a Punari into his opponent's most likely Hunter. And yeah, the Punari does well against everything that Vishy has, to be honest. Vishy doesn't have an Emperor, to my knowledge at least. Didn't see one when Pod was going over his ships. An Emperor really the only very good counter to the Punari. Maybe Locust, but yeah. Vishy and a Hunter indeed. So Podatte once again getting the, I would say winning the ship picking battle. And should now have a favored matchup. By no means a free matchup, should be said. Punari versus Hunter is still quite technical, can go either way a little bit. There's some RNG involved with the Scrambler obviously, but if you're gonna pick a ship to try to kill a Hunter, I would say to go with the Punari. You can go with the Marlstone if you're like a lot more confident in your Marlstone plays than your Punari plays, but generally I would say the Punari is slightly better. So AB to break the range exploit. We'll see what defensive order Podatte decides on. Vishy goes for a quick stun. Podatte counter stuns. Trying to keep Vishy in range. Vishy is going to AB out, pretty much as expected, but he has lost more than half of his health. Going for an RD, I'm not sure if he's gonna be able to stay out of range. If Podatte catches him now, Vishy will just die. The Hunter is faster than the Punari by a reasonable margin, it's not a huge difference. I think Podatte's gonna try for this. AB off cooldown and hope to get a stun. Doesn't quite look like it, no. He gives up on it, goes for the collection of some Cryonite, and I'm not sure about that. I feel like he might have been able to catch him. And yeah, at that point you just have to land your dome on the AB and you should be in a winning position at that point. But we'll see. Podatte accepting the reset. And we're gonna take a look once the cooldowns are back up. Most likely... Oh, another rare unit, rare barbarian. Is it the same one? No, we're in the bottom part of the map now. Ah! Vishy giving away his position by killing the rare mantis, because those render in way faster than ships or even enemy players do. But we are in render distance now. Podatte afterburns in. Maybe we'll see a prot now to prevent himself from being stunned. Let's see. Stun dome. I think we're gonna prot. He's gonna try to prot and then stun on the AB. And he gets it. Yeah. So Vishy is in a really bad place now. He wasted his stun against the protector. Podatte keeps him in range. He needs to push his RD now. He doesn't have his buffs running yet either. That would normally be quite good. And Pod still has 2 defensive items. Vishy is completely out of defensive options at this point. The RD runs down. Pod put his Scrambler up. Not getting the best Scrambler RNG so far. Wow, it's really bad Scrambler RNG. Puts the RD up, and I think... yeah, he should be able to just kill Vishy before Vishy kills him. Still has, like, with that RD, basically full health. AB... Pod deciding not to chase right away. Quite interesting. He's probably just gonna wait for either his stun cooldown or for Vishy, for Vishy's buffs to run out. I don't think it's needed. I think he could have chased there. But Vishy has the stun backup pretty much. And he will also get his RD before Pod gets... yeah, Vishy gets the RD already. I think now we're gonna see an AB in from Pod and try to catch with the stun. Without his protector, he is vulnerable to just being stunned and ran away from those, so... yeah, that's exactly what we're gonna see. I think he should counter stun here. He's gonna get the protector charged first. But Vishy runs out of range in that time. Vishy not in a very good position though. He can't run in a straight line, so Pod might be able to catch him out on the corner here. No, Vishy gets away. That's quite bad for Podatte. Wasting his protector entirely, well, more or less entirely. He does resist the stun effect obviously, so he's not falling behind in cooldowns, but the Punari doesn't have an actuator, so he does really need to be careful with his... be careful not to get out cooldowned in a longer fight. And yeah, like Vishy just... I feel like kind of taking control of the fight. Where I was expecting Pod to just essentially just walk in and run him over. Vishy actually putting up a very good fight and using good control. Maybe Podatte playing a little bit too hesitant. Might be capable of being more aggressive. Vishy now after burning in, that's an interesting one. Because normally you'd want to range exploit, but he is correct. Podatte barely has defense, counter stuns, tries to... yeah, Podatte now needs to AB out of range. That's never what you want to do. Against a ship with SB, if you don't have an SB, you never want to be ABing away from them. Because it's just free range exploit. And yeah, like, both are unstunned. Now Vishy will get into SB range in not too long from now. It will take a while, probably... yeah, Pod turns back in. Vishy not actually enforcing range exploit, just puts his buffs up. Not sure about this one. Pod has all of his defense, Vishy doesn't have the stun anymore either. Scrambler quite good, Scrambler and RD, and Vishy just walks out. Still has his RD, so Pod can't realistically chase into this. He does have the protector still, but he needs to wait for his stun as well, I think, to be safe. And Vishy, once again, with that RD, with that actuator, he will get his cooldowns back up quite quickly. It's not like... Pod is gonna go in, try to catch here, probably will see... yeah, so that's unfortunate for Vishy. He just barely gets caught on the edge of range. And Pod should just put up his protector here to not get stunned, and then... ooh! Vishy with the timing, wow, that is really unlucky for Podatte. If he doesn't charge his protector there, and manages to get the stun off on the AB, Podatte just wins there, because Vishy just used his RD, trying to get a full reset, but right while he was charging up his protector, Vishy AB's out, and that means that the stun isn't in time. And I think he's out of range now if he flew in a straight line. Not quite. So he gets the stun off, but Podatte's protector will run out in a few seconds. So he's going into this with only his Scrambler and his RD. And I think Vishy can survive long enough to get a stun, yeah. So there's the stun. Vishy does need to click an RD soon. I do believe he has it. Okay, there it is. Taking maximum advantage of his Ifrit there. Really well played by Vishy, squeezing out every last bit of DPS that he can. And it's gonna be very close. Scrambler and a later RD for Podatte, but Vishy with the buffs is a monster. And we'll see. I think, yeah, Vishy stays in blaster range, and this should just be a victory. AB out for Podatte. Is Vishy gonna chase it? Vishy started to chase, but I don't think he went all the way. Okay, he does, but now Pod gets the protector up, and that's very bad for Vishy. I think Vishy maybe getting baited in a bit. Slightly miscalculating it. It's still gonna be quite close. Probably not close enough. Miss. Stun. Blaster. Ooh, 22%. So Podatte does get the win. Very close fight. Vishy really putting up a good one. But yeah, Podatte does have the slightly favored ship in that matchup, I think, and also telling his opponent he sucks at Punari. So we're looking at a 3-1 lead for Podatte, needing only 2 more wins to defend his crown. And let's see what Vishy decides to pick to try and start his comeback. Podatte managing to orbit right before the rocket lands. And we'll take a look. So Vishy goes back to Siri once again, and we'll see what the picks are gonna be. Vishy, I believe, has a... I wanna say he has a Punari in Siri, not 100% sure. He definitely has a Hunter, but yeah, I think Vishy can't... the best Vishy can hope for is a mirror matchup. Like, he just doesn't have the sheer brute force ship variety that Podatte can leverage against him. And we'll see. Yeah, it looks like... Oh, he does have a Siri Emperor as well. That makes it a lot closer then, because that means it's very risky for Podatte to go with a Punari. So we're most likely going to see... that's... So Podatte sees the drones there, just barely. Most likely Vishy not gonna change his pick. And yeah, Podatte saying like you can repick ships. Because that is not allowed to see drones. We'll see what Vishy responds. We'll see. Just the option for repick. Vishy can stay in the same ship and most likely... yeah. So we're just gonna see a Hunter v Hunter again, it seems. Once again. Third time in 5 matches. Good stuff, yeah. Top tier PvP gameplay. No hunter, no chance, as the cool kids say. So yeah, let's see. So far the Hunter v Hunters have been 50-50. We've seen the match twice now. Podatte won 1 and Fishy won 1. So we'll see. Statistically this should be a very close match. Practically it's mostly down to RNG. But yeah, Fishy already ready. Podatte also confirming that we can go. And let's see. Both start with an SB, no buffs at the start this time. But actually not looking at his opponent, quite interesting. Normally you want to see what stuns on the SB. Fishy still gets a better trade though. And Pod has to AB out. And this is just going to be a full reset because Fishy will still be stunned at the end of this occurrence. So, yep, Fishy now walks back, full reset. And we'll meet each other at the LZ once again, once all of the cooldowns are back. Maybe they decide to keep going. Fishy is favored to fight at this time, but it doesn't look like he wants to start as poking again, which is quite interesting to me. You can't really get into a fight if you don't have the stun available, which Bot doesn't at the moment. It'll be up before he dies at this point, so should be okay. And Podatte clicks his RD, Fishy should do the same, yep. Sees the RD, clicks it as well. And now both players most likely are gonna be waiting for the RD to come back. Or, I mean, they could decide to just fight, since the RD timing is almost identical. Bot will get it slightly faster. Fishy gets his actuator back faster though. They could just fight this out without RDs, like, it is still fair if neither of them have it. Neither player has an advantage either. But most people prefer being careful and like to wait for their RD. Bot gonna AB in. Fishy's RD is slightly later, but there's absolutely no way for Bot to get in range unless Fishy makes a mistake, and his RD should be close enough at this point. Stun, counter stun, we've basically seen the same items. Bot is behind in HP though, he missed a blaster slightly earlier. Puts the actuator up. Fishy should also have an actuator already. Bot thinking about what item he wants to do next. He needs to get his RD up. Yeah, there it is. So Bot with a way earlier RD, and we'll see Fishy quite late. Ooh, Fishy, RD! What? No RD? Did Fishy not have it? Maybe that little bit of actuator difference was enough there? Interesting. So Fishy probably turning into the fight slightly too early then. His RD must have been like, at the very most, 5 seconds away from being available. No way it was more than that. I think it was like, it must have been right there. And Podatte now leading 4-1. So definitely taking a commanding lead. Fishy can still make a comeback, at least start to make a comeback, get some more points on the board. But yeah, we'll see. Fishy once again has the pick and goes for Mizar. Obviously Siri is now banned, it has been played 3 times. And we will see what Mizar ships these people decide on. I quite like Mizar. There's a lot more ship variety. The Hunter and the Emperor aren't as dominant. Locust is a lot more prominent because it counters the Marlstone and the Punari, which are the other ships that kind of step up their game a bit. But you still see plenty of people go with the Hunters, go with the Emps, go with the Chromes. That sort of thing. You're just playing with a few rare items, but some of those ships are just good enough that having a rare item instead of an ancient doesn't matter that much. But we'll see. We'll see what these players decide on. Fishy already reporting ready. Doesn't look like he did the switch all your ships to Mizar thing, so Pod should have a pretty decent idea of what his opponent has. I think he's banking on a Marlstone. Looks like he's selecting the Emperor. Yeah. Looks like it's gonna be an Emperor. I think he's predicting a Marlstone from Fishy. Let's take a look. Let's see if his prediction and mine are correct. Not seeing Vishy in orbit yet. Oh, it's a Hunter. Hunter v Emp in Mizar. So, normally the Hunter is favored, in my opinion quite favored. Some people say it's closer, some people say it's, you know, quite a hard counter. Most will agree that the Hunter is favored to some extent though, but in Mizar that's not the case, because the Hunter has 2 items at rare, both the Sniper and the Attack Charge, whereas the Emperor does not. It only has the Sniper at rare, everything else is still Ancient. So the Hunter gets a bigger nerf in Mizar than the Emperor does, and that hit to the buff does really damage the Hunter quite a lot, because Hunter is all about, I have a fuck ton of damage for a brief moment while I have my buff plus actuator. But going for a run strategy, we'll see if Vishy gets in range at the end of it. His ship is faster, yeah, turns in range. I'm not sure if the Hunter can outright fight this in Mizar, I don't think it can. It's gonna take too long to break the Protector. Needs to put his RD up. Vishy might... he should be fine. No, he's not. He's just gonna get killed through his RD. Yeah. Underestimating the thermo a bit there. So... bit of a mistake by Vishy, but I don't think you can do the normal, like, run in and overwhelm the Hunter, overwhelm the Emperor strategy in Mizar, not as convincingly anyway. But yeah, that means a 5-1 victory. Oh, Vishy had a long RD. That's unfortunate, yeah. That ruins your chances. So Podatte with a 5-1 victory, defending his king spot. And I hope you enjoyed the matches. I will catch you on the next one.